Hi there, this is Alex from Lex's Toy Loft, just doing another Star Wars review. Hope you're all doing good. This review is just of the Star Wars Last 17 collection. As you can see, they're all in front of you. I will just try and zoom in a little bit so you can see each figure. Okay, first of all you've got the R2-D2 figure with the pop-up lightsaber, quite hard to get. The decals on the outside the sticker is always worn, quite difficult to get in good condition. You've got Anakin Skywalker, you've then got ROMBA, the EWOK. Next to him you've got Han Solo in carbonate. Next to him PAPLOO, the EWOK, the A-Wing fighter pilot, the Imperial gunner, Luke Skywalker in Endor fatigue. You've got Warwick, you've got Yak Face. He's very difficult for people from some countries to find because he just wasn't released everywhere. You've got EV99, got Lumat, got AMANAMAN, Barada, LANDO General, Imperial Dignitary, and you've got the Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper getup. Okay, so first I thought we'd have a look at R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber because he was first on the list. If I do a quick turnaround, you can see the stickers are similar to the previous R2-D2s. You obviously had the R2 from the first unit with the head with nothing on it, and you had the second one with the stethoscope. This one you've obviously got the pop-up lightsaber. If I put the pop-up lightsaber inside the top of R2 like that, and then I twist, you see the lightsaber will pop up and then go back down. It comes back quite easily, and you can get Luke Skywalker to handle the lightsaber and then fight off all of Jabba in the sail barge. As you put it in, you noticed it does stand up there a little bit higher than if you want it to. Okay, next up we have Anakin Skywalker. He's basically the ghost of Darth Vader. He came as a free figure if you collected tokens and things from the other figures. He was a pretty basic figure, similar sort of mould to the Imperial Dignitary and Emperor Palpatine. In the old Jedi robes, looking quite good, kind of smiling. Not the most exciting of figures, but it was quite different to get Anakin Skywalker as a figure. They could have potentially done other lesser figures that never were made into the toy line earlier, but there you go, Anakin Skywalker. Next up we have the Last 17 EWOK ROMBA. He's another one of the hard ones to find. This one's in really good condition. They often pop up on eBay with missing the headgear, missing the spear, but he's a pretty cool EWOK warrior. He came with the spear that also came with Wicket. As an EWOK warrior, yeah, pretty standard, looks pretty good, normal articulation. This one's LFL 1985, no country of origin written on it, so the no countries of origin ones are always a little bit harder to find sometimes and a bit more sought after, but there you go, ROMBA. Next one up we have Han Solo in carbonate. He was an interesting figure because you had the carbonate in the Slave One with Boba Fett's ship. This one was a bit different because you had the figure to come out of it, so when you were playing you could pretend he was being released by the princess. Han Solo is kind of basic. The Han Solo figure kind of looks different in every figure they made of him, but this one's pretty good. LFL 1984 on the back, got just the standard sort of boots, trousers and top, nothing too special, movement of the arms and the head, but he basically fits into the carbonate as so. be careful not to scratch him. He's in quite good nick. And he would just stand like that and look quite good. And you, as a kid, used to stand him up or prop him in the Jabba the Hutt playset, so play out that Return of the Jedi scene. Then he'd pop out when needed. There was no back to this, but it served its purpose. It was pretty good. Obviously the mould is different to how he was in the film, but it would have been difficult to make an action figure with the hands all up. It just wouldn't have probably played right, and he wouldn't have been able to hold weapons. He's got a gun hand there, a blaster hand, so he can be used to fight and play with. Next up is PAPLOO, another EWOK warrior. He came with his own special staff, which he would hold. Came with the headdress as well. Quite a nice little EWOK. He is the EWOK that steals the speeder bike and distracts the biker scouts in the film. So he did actually have a bigger role in the EWOKs in the films. He has got no stamp on him that I can see at the moment. But decorated really nicely. He's got a cool headdress with the feathers and the little moulds on the top and the side. Another one that's quite hard to get complete. You often see him without his headdress and his weapon. Next up is the A-Wing pilot. I don't have his weapon to hand, unfortunately, but he's in his pilot fatigues. Nice figure. It's quite cool they produced him. They had the A-Wing pilot, the B-Wing pilot, the X-Wing pilot. He obviously piloted the A-Wing, wasn't brought out in the normal Star Wars line, but came out under the droids line. It's a pretty cool ship, but hard to get, quite rare and very expensive. Okay, next up we have the Imperial Gunner. He was obviously appeared in the first Star Wars film as part of one of the people in control of the Death Star gun that destroyed planets. Another hard one to get. The badge is on his arms, quite difficult to get in good condition because they just wear over time. He has a very small weapon similar to the A-Wing pilot's gun. The weapon alone is really difficult to find, and I've seen them going on eBay for sort of about £100 sometimes. It's crazy what people will pay when they are missing that one gun, but yeah, quite a difficult one to find. That's the Imperial Gunner. Next up we have Luke Skywalker in his Endor fatigues. He would come with the blaster. I can show you there. They're quite good, difficult to get, just they're quite small and fragile. He came with the moulded hat, the camo cloak, and the gun belt that you can see wrapped around him. He's a good character, kind of similar to the Jedi character, bar the hat, but it was good because as a kid you'd have all of the main characters in the Endor fatigues. This one's LFL 1985, no country of origin. Pretty good condition, but yeah, nice figure. Next up is Warwick, another EWOK warrior. He had the bow and arrow that came with him. Well, I say bow and arrow, bow. Comes with the quiver belt as well and the headrest. Moulded body, kind of basic, I guess, but just another good version of the EWOK warrior. LFL 1985, no country of origin. It's good they created a couple of Ewoks with the bows and arrows, because at the start of the attack on Return of the Jedi they obviously used the bows and arrows to surprise them. Shame there's no arrows with them, but there you go. Give you a close-up look of him. Pretty good character. And I'll pop him back. Next up we have Yak Face. He's a tough one to get and one of the most expensive ones. R2-D2 and EV-99 and Luke Skywalker, they're all particularly expensive ones in my experience. Yak Face, he's one of the ones I'd have got at a car boot sale years and years ago. I've owned him for about 30 years. And put him up close to the camera so you can have a look at his paintwork. I really don't want to hold him too much. But that's his weapon. It would also come with Nikto, but these weapons sort of go for £15 to £20 just because they go with the Yak Face. Yak Face at the moment is going for £200 or more if you've got a really good version in good condition. This one's really nice, so I'll try and hold him as little as I possibly can, but for the purpose of this video it's just easier to have bare hands rather than gloves. Didn't do his label actually. His stamp is LFL 1985. No country of origin on that one. Next up we have EV99. He's the droid in Jabba's palace. I'll give you a look so you can see him up close. Now he's got a little lever at the back of his head that you can see. I'll try and get it in focus for you. And when you push the lever, the mouth went up and down, similar to how it does in the film. I'll try and give you a look from that side. He looks pretty good, similar to what he looks like in the film. He's pretty close. There's some nice detail on the back with kind of like a cog in the middle of him. So LFL 1985, no country of origin on there. But these are quite difficult to find with the mouthpiece. Often they break, often the legs and arms break because they're quite fragile. But he's pretty good. Next up we've got Lumat, another Ewok warrior with bow and arrow, or bow. He came with the bow and also the quiver, which had the painted arrow tips. He's got a nice headdress there as well. His arm's sort of curved as if it's holding the arrows that would be holding the bow. Another sort of nice character. Looking for his stamp and can't actually see one at the moment. But yeah, that's all the Ewoks done so far. So 4 Ewoks in the last 17, quite a few. And again, another archer. Next up is AMANAMAN, another character from Jabba the Hutt's area. He came with this staff which had like human heads attached to it, and there's a hand as well. I'll try and bring it up. You can see like the heads and the hand that's moulded to it. Yeah, pretty creepy, quite cool. The staff does snap quite easily, so a number of those you see for sale that are broken. AMANAMAN himself was an interesting mould. He's just a bit different to some of the other characters, which is quite nice because most of them are just really sort of humanoid. He's like got a funny sort of shape to him, a bit of a tail on the end as well. I quite like the colour as well. He's LFL 1988. Obviously got the holes on the feet as well, just in case you need to stand him anywhere. His arms are really long and massive, almost as long as some characters. But yeah, he's got quite a lot of playability there, quite nice. The staff would sort of fit through this hand, and you'd have to try and make it fit so he could hold it up. But yeah, strange character, but a pretty cool one. Okay, this character is Barada from Return of the Jedi. He came with this weapon here, the staff. Looked like a little bit of a dog in the film. He was one of the characters on the skiff that Luke Skywalker was going to be executed from. Had like a backpack on the back of him. You got LFL 1985 there, I think. Interesting colours, but fairly basic. I remember buying him from a car boot sale when I was a kid, so I've had him a long time. The face is kind of dog-like as he does look in the film, but good character. Next up we've got Lando General. He's in his get-up that he was wearing when he flew the Millennium Falcon and blew up the Death Star. Quite a nice character. His cape is really quite difficult to find in good condition. This one's got some staining, as you can see on it. Really fragile, can get broken off or ripped very easily. But yeah, this character's not too bad. LFL 1985, no country of origin on the back. He would come with a blaster similar to Luke in Endor. I have got a black one here, but I'm not happy that's real. So I'll use Luke Skywalker's one as an example. And that's what we have. It's a shame they didn't sort of create the mould for the gun to fit inside the pocket, but that would have been more difficult, I guess. Okay, this guy's Imperial Dignitary. My guy's a bit dusty actually. He's been in storage a long time. you'll be able to see straight away this one has a speck off the nose. This figure is notorious for having specks off the nose from playing, etc., or storage. There's always the nose paint just tends to sort of speck off. This one's LFL 1984. He's a bit dusty actually. I need to give him a clean up. He's moulded in a similar way to Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, the Emperor. Obviously, Return of the Jedi, he'd come off the Imperial shuttle with the Emperor, and you see him later on in the film, I think. Not an amazingly interesting character. He can't hold any weapons or anything like that because of his hands, but you could play with him with the Emperor and use him as part of the Imperial setup. This is Luke Skywalker in Last 17. He's a stormtrooper get-up. He'd have the blaster as a normal stormtrooper would. The hat's unfortunately a Reaper, I'm afraid, but the hat would go on there and he'd look like a stormtrooper. Very, very similar to obviously the standard stormtrooper in the way he's dressed. LFL 1984 on the back of his leg, and he's the last one in this review. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed my toy review today. It's been really good getting out these toys. I don't get them out enough really. I haven't got the space to put them on display at the moment. But all of these figures, obviously very sought after, very difficult to get. It's nice to have a full collection with them all in. There are a few other rare characters that obviously aren't included in the last 17, but this video is just about the last 17. The Jawa vinyl coat obviously isn't in this video. He's another really rare character, and there's so many variants and other rare ones that people are obviously after and are very expensive. I loved these toys as a child. Obviously picked up some very cheaply at car boot sales, probably got some of them for 10p or less, or as a collection, and it's nice that I've had them for so long, and they have just gone up and up in value, as I'm sure they will continue to do so. I sometimes sell these in my toy store, Lexi's Toy Loft. I do quite enjoy doing these reviews, but if you'd like any further reviews, if you've got any comments to add, if you want to ask me to do a review on anything else, then please let me know, and I'll do my best to help out and put some more reviews up. Thanks very much.